I'm Gary Zimmerman. I'm the owner of Twin Pine Ford. I'm just pleading to the Pennsylvania representatives that we end this emergency declaration that was put out there by Governor Wolf and get businesses open so we can put Pennsylvanians back to work and they can supply for their families. So we're currently just under 100 employees total that we have employed here. Most of them are currently on unemployment due to the shutdown. And we have a plan in place to meet all the social distancing and the requirements by the CDC. We've spent, I don't know how much time going through all the rules and regulations. We've been closed ever since March 19th when Governor Wolf put this into effect. We actually closed down the very next day, and as you know, he extended it to Monday, and we wanted to follow the rules and the guidelines, and so we shut down that Friday morning and told everybody to go home, and it's been tough. As a dealership, especially as a used car dealership here, we have taken a huge economic loss. Each vehicle has lost approximately $2,000 worth of value since this started, just because the whole economic thing has dropped off. And we're looking at well over $2 million loss at this point. And there's no PPP for that, there's no government assistance for that. That's all straight loss out of the dealership's pocket. Our employees are calling, wondering when they can get back to work. They have families that count on them. A lot of these are just one person working in the home, the mother's staying at home with the children, and now they have to since schools are shut down, and it's just been a mess. Getting this open is absolutely pertinent to the lives of a lot of people. We are the only state in the United States that cannot sell cars. And so if you look at it, 80% of Pennsylvanians live within an hour's drive of a bordering state. New York can sell cars, New Jersey can sell cars, Maryland can sell cars, and you see people that are in desperate need of a car going to those states. We had the EMS unit from Reading. They have an ambulance that's brand new. It's sitting there, it's ready to go. They were counting on using it. He called me, he said, is there any way we can do the paperwork on this? We need to get this ambulance into service. He said, we were counting on this. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't. I said, until we're allowed to sell vehicles, you can't use that ambulance, and we can't register it with the state, and there's nothing we can do. And that's just one story. I could go through a bunch and bore you guys to death, but it's ridiculous. You work at building a team together. That they can come in, it's almost like family. I mean, you spend more time at work than you do at home. And at the end of the day, when you're with those people and they're hurting, you know, what can you do? They're counting on you. They put their trust in your business that they would have a job, that they would be there, they could supply for your family. As a business owner, I've done everything to make sure that they get paid as much as possible, that they can make it for their family. You know, when you look at all the tough times that business owners have gone through in the past, and I think the first thing that comes to mind is the recession in 08 and 09 and how hard that hit the economy. At least we had our doors open. At least we could do something about it. And all at once, all that control is just taken right out of your hands. I mean, it's gone. I can't do anything. It's like somebody handcuffs you and says, now, all right, I need you to enter the fight. Well, you can't. What can we do? What do I feel like doing? Those are two different questions. And, you know, I think we as Pennsylvanians need to stand up. I think everybody in Pennsylvania, business owners and employees and everybody that says, listen, here's how we feel. And this is the facts. Some people say, well, it's just some wealthy business person and they're complaining because they aren't making enough money, or that this business here, you know, they have the money to spend, they shouldn't be complaining, they should be more worried about people's lives. And that is just such a misconception. It's just a lie. I mean, each and every business owner I know puts pretty much everything that they have on the line. I have my house mortgaged. Everything that I've done, I get up early, I stay up late, I barely get to bed before 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock every night. I'm working. The whole issue is these business people borrow money. I have money borrowed in every single way just to try to make a living. The same as my employees do. They have expenses that need to be covered. They have commitments on car payments. Well, the only thing with a business owner is their commitments are just a lot larger. And a lot of the miscommunication, and a lot of people don't understand exactly how business works, and they hear revenue. They hear a business did $10 million in revenue. Well, that's just sales. That's just the sales. They still got to pay for whatever they sold. They got to pay for the employees. They got to pay for the overhead. They got to pay for the lease. They got to pay for insurance, workers' comp. And when you start taking everything out, especially the cost of sales and a lot of that, there's just not much left for the business owner. And they have some money saved up for bad times. Most business owners do. But when you have something like this happens, it's gone. I mean, it's just gone. And if they can't supply a business for their employees so that their employees can make a living, you just have it crumbling. They're the ones out on the limb taking the risk. And at the end of the day, you got nothing. And if businesses start to fold up across Pennsylvania, you're going to see an economic recession like you've never seen before. And this is, I never dreamed that it would go this long. When this started, I figured, you know what, could I deal with it a week, 2 weeks? And then next thing we know, we're sitting at this at what, 6 weeks? And with no definitive open date, I don't even know what's going to happen. You know, at the end of the day, I know God's in charge. It doesn't matter. And I can't sit around and worrying about what might be. I can only plan for what I can plan for and what I can do. But I know that something needs to happen. It has to happen now. And the voices of the people, you know, it's the Constitution, we the people. April 20th, Wolf announced that dealerships can open up as long as they use an e-notary. So your customer logs into a third-party site, takes a video of their driver's license, their face, and then signs the document. This is stored on a third party's website, and you got to retain that video to be compliant with e-notarization. Customers are not allowed to just show up at your dealership and say, hey, you know what, I'd like to drive that vehicle. Even the trade aspect of it needs to be done over the phone, which I'm still scratching my head. I can't value something I didn't see. It just becomes so challenging to try to buy the second largest purchase that anybody's ever going to make in their life, and they're told to go buy it sight unseen. It's not feasible. It's not going to happen. I believe that all businesses here in Pennsylvania are essential, and it's time that we open up business for both our customers and our employees. I'm just pleading to the Pennsylvania representatives that we end this emergency declaration that was put out there by Governor Wolf and get businesses open so we can put Pennsylvanians back to work and they can supply for their families and we can get back and do this. This is beyond absurd.